Hello, everyone. Thank
Hello,
you.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Last week I announced that we were going to have a special guest. And last week that special guest was going to be Betsy Blodgett. And in comes Alex Woodbury. And unfortunately, Betsy can't be with us today. She's a little under the weather. So
I'm just a little taller than Betsy.
a little taller, but we will soldier on without her.
Yes.
Even though today's subject is so Betsy, and she's so knowledgeable about Liberty of London and the history and the fabrics, and she sews with it all the time. And Betsy used to have a store in Kansas City called Bon Bon, and they specialized in selling Liberty of London fabrics. Were you ever in that store?
Mm-hmm.
So cute. So cute. So we miss you, Betsy. We hope you're online and watching us bumble through this with your notes and thoughts. Well, this is So Confident Question and Answer Week.
It is. We'll see you all on Thursday if you're part of So Confident.
That's right. Noon Central Time or 6 Central Time, and hopefully you'll come with your questions regarding the Eureka pieced top or anything else. You know, we're taking questions from last January.
It's true.
Still. So
We'll actually be together, probably on the same screen now. So
well,
figure that
that
out,
may
but-
be. Yeah, I know. We have to figure that out. That's going to be different. Usually she's sitting someplace in Cleveland, but this time we're together. So join us on Thursday for a lively discussion, I hope. And
It's been a fun project. Actually, the Liberty would be cool in the pieced Eureka top.
Yes. Oh, what a good idea, using
If
Liberty.
anyone wants to make that between now and Thursday, go for it.
That's a great idea, though, because the Liberty of London fabrics are so mixable. We have a couple of examples to show you, actually. So we're gearing up for the September 1st launch of the next project. I'll review that next Tuesday. We're not going to surprise you with it today, but we're getting ready for a brand new pattern and new project, new fabric. So that'll be next, I think Thursday is September 1st, something like that.
Giving any sneak peek?
No, that's next Tuesday is the
Nothing.
sneak peek. No,
Okay.
nothing.
All right.
Well, the Q&A will do the sneak peek.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody who's on the Q&A sessions on Thursday will see the project for September. I got an email today from Craftsy, and they have a special on some new DVDs. They not only have specials on their regular classes, but they are also producing a lot more DVDs. And my class, Serger and Cover Stitch Fashion Details, is now in DVD form, and it's on sale half price. So if you're interested in this class, Serger and Cover Stitch Fashion Details, the regular price of the DVD is $49.99, and now it's $24.99. So take advantage of that sale if you're interested. I think it's one of my best DVDs. There are other DVDs that I have on there as well, but this was the one that kind of stood out for me.
Need to get my DVD player back out.
I know, I'm not even sure I have a DVD player. I'm sure I can find it someplace. Yeah, there is that. Only the young person would really think about that.
What's a DVD? I don't remember.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, shall we talk about Liberty of London? But first we have to talk about London.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex lived in London for 2 years, not very long ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And tell me a little bit about your experience in what you were studying.
Yeah, so I got accepted to London College of Fashion, which is a top school for all things fashion. University of Arts London has all kinds of programs. And so I went in, my first year was a program called Fashion Management, and then that qualified me to get my master's in fashion design and entrepreneurship. So I was doing all things from like business concepts to like generating ideas for branding, for marketing, for how to promote things. And then my entrepreneurship side was kind of like developing business concepts, and we did a lot of pitching to entrepreneurs or investors, kind of like mock pitching and presentations, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I lived kind of near the Notting Hill area on like the west side of London, and so I was about a 20 to 30 minute tube ride. If anyone doesn't know what the tube is, that's the subway. So I was like a 30-minute tube ride from central London, and Liberty London is it is my all-time favorite store. It was a 30-minute ride from like door to door, Liberty London. So if I was ever having like a bad day, or I wanted to do some homework or some window shopping, I just go to Liberty London, and the store is kind of right in central London, off of a street called Regent Street, and it's an amazing shop. And I would just wander through the amazing kind of alleys and rooms and spaces in that store, and you walk in and you see the flower shop. So you have the flowers freshly picked each morning, so it's got a great curb appeal because it's just like amazing, beautiful flowers right in the entryway. And then you walk in and it's made out of old ships, and so it's great wood details. And so you walk in and you kind of enter and you see all the kind of Liberty prints, scarves. You first enter and you see bags, which is like, of course, my favorite thing also. So you see bags, and then you can kind of like meander through the different rooms. I read that they kind of set it up like it would be like a living room. So every room or every kind of space in there has its own kind of look, its own effect. It has 6 floors. The basement floor is men's, all the way to the top where it's home furnishings. So it's got a lot to offer. Right. A lot to offer. So
yeah, each of these, they call them atriums because you can be on each floor and you're around this central atrium with this magnificent chandelier sort of affair, or mobile sort of affair, and then rooms off of that which feel like living rooms with their home furnishings, fireplaces, and
chocolate.
You mentioned window shopping, and that's interesting because I'd never thought about it. I don't believe they have a single window.
Oh yeah, they do.
Do they?
Uh-huh.
Okay, never mind.
Yep.
I don't recall seeing windows, dressed windows, but anyway.
Well, I think the building in itself, I think often you think of a department store, and even in London there's Harrods, there's Selfridges, there's Dover Street Market. It's very kind of modern effects of having like glass windows, steel. Liberty, the striking part of that building is the actual wood,
the
timber style.
Yeah.
And so the windows, they're not secondary, but I would say the noticeable part of seeing that space is the building itself. But
right.
Their windows are huge.
They haven't tried to really modernize that building from the exterior. Or even the interior. The floors are still the original decking from a couple of old ships, and the columns are carved wood from these ships, and they used something like 24,000 cubic feet of timber from 2 old ships. Well, Arthur Liberty was the man who started Liberty of London, and he first worked for a company called Farmer and Rogers, and they were known for importing a lot of fabrics. And at the time, the trade was opening up from Japan, and so they had a lot of Asian, Oriental type fabrics, and he became this tastemaker with friends like William Morris, which is a name that I remember studying in college as this famous decorator, designer of fabrics and furniture and lifestyle, basically. And so he opened this store that we're talking about in 1875. And really, it hasn't changed much since then. In the early years, this Liberty became known for this Art Nouveau style, and they still have one pattern. Do you remember seeing the peacocks, the peacock fabric? Mm-hmm. That fabric was designed in 1887, and it's still in their collection today. Now, I'm sure they've done renditions of it from scale changes to color changes, but they reach back into their archives all the time and recolor and restructure their designs. But you can still get this whole classic series of fabrics.
Yeah, that's what's great about Liberty as a department store too, is they have this in-house design studio where they are designing prints, they're designing fabrics. Even in their store, I think it's the 4th floor, has their fabrics.
Right.
So they're the ones creating these beautiful, colorful prints, which we'll talk about in a bit. But
right.
that's something that sets them apart.
It's not like a regular fabric store where the bolts are draped and in the round and all of that. All the fabrics are around the edges of this atrium, stacked up, kind of by collection and by color. And they do have, in addition to the cotton, which we're going to talk about, they have silk and linen and wool and velvet, home decorating fabrics, dress goods. And, you know, they became known for sort of releasing women from the restrictions of tight bodices and corsets and all of that to wearing flowery, beautiful, soft dresses. So, but the central to the story is their signature Tana lawn cotton. And when you touch Liberty of London cotton, you think you're touching silk. It's fine, it's smooth, it's silk-like, and there is nothing like it. This cotton was discovered in Lake Tana, or Tana, in Ethiopia. And they're still using that source. And they've refined that cotton over the years, and the technology has changed in how they're making the fabrics. But these fabrics are printed in Lake Como, near Lake Como, Italy. But you're right, this design studio, I think, is across the street. And they collaborate, they have in-house designers, and they collaborate with lots of other designers as well. And they've done collaborations with Paul Smith. Even Nike has had 3 collections with them. And one of the people that we actually know and have a relationship with who has produced designs for them is Sarah Campbell. And as you know, Sarah Campbell came to Kansas a year and a half ago and did a fabric printing workshop. And I just thought I'd show you this. This was her sample, one of her sample pieces, as she demonstrated the various techniques of fabric printing. So of course I grabbed her sample that she was going to throw in the trash, not really, but not do anything with, and now I have it hanging on the wall because I love it so much. But she's a very, very talented designer. She's also the designer of this design for you did the covers of these, and we have something coming in the way of fabric from her as well, so we'll watch for the launch of that. But they have like an archive of 45,000 designs, and they produce 50,000 meters of fabric a day, and something like 150 new designs a year. What's interesting about that from my point of view is that we can buy them, as you can see, but once we buy them, we cannot necessarily get them again. So these 50,000 meters a day are a somewhat limited production. Now they do have their classics that they produce over and over and over, but the ones we buy from are generally the newest collection, and it's a more limited edition. But anytime you invest in a Liberty of London fabric, and because of the technology and the feel and the curated design, the in-house design, these are not prints that these are not fabrics that are copied. There's nothing like them. Mm-hmm. And once you make your first garment out of one of these fabrics, you'll never look back. You will have this timeless piece of fabric for the rest of your life. And I think, granted, these fabrics are more expensive than your normal cottons, but they're not like any of your normal cottons. Mm-hmm. So they're somewhat of an investment fabric and an investment piece, but you don't have to make anything complicated out of it either. So let's show some things that have been made. Well, first of all, you have on the London shirt, which is one of your favorite patterns.
I do like this shirt, yeah.
And this is fabric that I actually bought at Liberty of London when I visited you a couple of years ago. Now this is linen, so this is a substrate that we don't carry, but nevertheless I wanted you to wear it today because I made it, so it's the London shirt pattern out of Liberty of London fabric. So, okay, so let's just show a couple of things here. So Betsy made these, and these are 2 Splice shirts. And what I like about what she did here is that she used 2 different Liberty prints, very different from one another. A larger scale for the body and a little mini print floral for the side insertions. And then here she's used a pretty traditional print of theirs, actually, and then inserted, this is not a Liberty of London cotton, but it's a wonderful little print. And then she brought the facing to the outside, which makes a nice trim. Normally the facing is tucked to the inside and top stitched. But these are Betsy's creations, and I think they're just really sweet. And then I made a shirt out of a combination. This is the Liberty, it's the Liberty shirt. I just thought of that. Yeah. Okay, right. So this is the Liberty shirt. I did use the Mix-It shirt neckline on it. So this is actually another scale of this same print. Not quite, but there's a relationship in these prints that they have a similarity in type of flower, but different scale, a different colorway. And then this is a black and white check, you know, which I like to combine with a lot of things. And this is a different Liberty, more of a gray and yellow, smaller scale print. So I made this. And then let's just bring out what Betsy made. So Betsy was going to introduce what she made out of her Liberty today. And this is loungewear. And I think not only can you wear Liberty of London fabrics for streetwear, of course, but fabulous pajamas, robes, loungewear, and all of that.
They have the whole section in their store with the loungewear, pajamas, sleepwear, so in their prints usually, so it's a
yes, and they also, I believe, have kits of fabric and pattern. Mm-hmm. And I think a robe is one of them, I think, yeah.
Sounds like a good idea if they don't.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Anyway, this is the Ikina jacket. Now, this was the project for March of, so confident, am I right on the month? I think so. And it was a jacket, a loose jacket with this band. But Betsy has done a couple of things to this. So this print is a Liberty of London print, which, by the way, we still have a bit of. And then she's used one of our viscose linens for this front band, trimmed the pocket, added this band on the sleeve, and she added belt loops and a belt. Now this dress form is bigger than Betsy, so my sense is then that Betsy's bow would be a bow, because it would cinch in a little bit more, but you know. So we'll take this off. And so she made the Gardenia top. This is the one that we just introduced. Let's see, this is August, July, was it June's project? July. July's project, okay. The one that has the tuck here, the tucks and the tie here. We had a sleeved version or a sleeveless version. And then these are the West End pants, short, and she's cuffed the bottom. She even put the pockets in them and elastic waist. Is that not the cutest thing?
Love it.
I know. But I love the whole ensemble, all the same.
Yep. Well, we've talked about this in other Facebook Lives I've been on, but we're seeing more and more now in this season, especially just for summer, the matching set thing, especially shorts, wide leg shorts that are just easy fit. And so
are you saying this would not necessarily be sleepwear?
I'm saying this would not necessarily be sleepwear.
Okay.
So this is being worn on the streets of London or Cleveland or Topeka, Kansas. Maybe not Topeka, but I don't know.
I don't know. Well, maybe if you wear it out of here, if we could get this on, we'd be wearing it.
No, this is super. This is a great elevated, I think, obviously elevated sleepwear, but it's a great look.
Yeah, it's so darling, really it is. So, just one little other sleepwear thing, and it's not a Liberty of London, but I did, prior to this, I had made some sleepwear using the West End pants, shortened, and I used a knit, a viscose knit, and I actually made a top out of the Eureka top. So this is my little shorty pajama thing, and I would not wear this on the street. This would definitely
Some
be...
would, though. Some would.
Well, some would, but I wouldn't.
Have you seen the high school kids these days?
Well, maybe so.
They put some Crocs on
They
it.
do.
Yeah?
Crocs are back. You probably won't see Linda Lee in Crocs, though.
Probably not. Probably not. You know, I've been guilty of not wearing very nice sleepwear pretty much my whole life. And I see this and I think, you know, it's something I forget that I should be making myself. I can't find out there what I want, so why wouldn't I just make it? And Liberty of London would be the perfect fabric. It washes up beautifully. It's cotton, so it wrinkles a little bit, but not in the same way as so many cottons. You know, it's very smooth and doesn't wrinkle very much. All right, so this the Ikina jacket, one of its features does have a miter. So if you can see this detail right here, there are two hems that come together. There's a narrow hem and a wide hem at the corner of the side vent. And so I'm going to show you how to do that asymmetric miter. So let me get my little easel out here. Okay. All right. So this is your technique for the day. I have pre-pressed two hems, one that's narrow and one that's wide. And I know you've heard me talk about tagboard templates. So I have two templates for the wider hem and two templates for the side hem. And I've demonstrated that before, so I don't necessarily need to do that again. But once those two hems are pressed on top of one another, then I have put one pin in each hem at that joint. Can you see that? A little closer. Okay, why don't you lift it up a little bit so you can see the... There we go. Okay. So then, once you've done that, then you open this up, and keeping those turn downs turned down, you match where the pins enter that hem, like that. So it's just right sides together, matching the pins, leaving the turn downs. And that's what this looks like. So nothing's going to be lined up. You're going to have this odd thing hanging out. These edges don't line up, but these turn downs still stay turned down. And you can see the crease that you've pressed with these templates. So where that crease dies at this diagonal fold, and where those pins, your pins would have been sticking out right there. You draw a line from that pin to the point where that crease okay? All right, now I'm going to tell you how to do the next couple of steps. So right next to this, we're going to trim this. And this seam gets pressed open. Now I usually do that over either a point presser, the rail of a point presser, or the rail of a tailoring board. And by the way, we make these two pieces of equipment in Topeka because they're really hard to find. But once that's pressed open, I put my thumb in the little bonnet of this and turn it. And if I need to, I use my point turner to give it a little extra shove. And that is my finished miter. Now, I would go ahead and use a strip of fusee web to fuse along these edges and fuse this hem down before I top stitched or hand stitched or whatever I chose to do. And remember, the fusee web is a paper covered line of glue. So once you press down over the paper, you take the paper away and what's left is this little line of glue, and that's what holds that hem down. This is the sheerest product on the market. We get it from Japan, and there's nothing like it. And it's called fusee web. Okay, so that's your miter. Get rid of this.
I used to teach that at one of my original Sewing and Quilt Expo classes, and I would bring your book, and man, does that change people's lives.
It is one of those life-changing techniques, actually. So the miters are in, that's one of 7 miters that are in this little book that I wrote called Mastering Miters. And I don't know about you, but I like to have written and printed instructions on things. Unlike you would go to the web and look at it and all that. I still like to have a little booklet or book or something, but this is just a nice little reference book that has that miter and other miters in it as well. But I also remembered that I wrote an article for Threads called Mitered Corners, Maximum Elegance. In this, I can't believe this is 20 years old. July of 2001, number 95.
Wow.
Wow. But for those of you who are just like me, you still have it. I went to the archives of the Threads magazines, and there it is. So those of you who might have the DVDs that have all the articles and all that, so it'll be there.
DVDs.
DVDs, yeah. All right, well, let's show some fabrics. We have another explosion of prints here. And I think we have some classic collection and some new, because they do very traditional prints and modern prints as well. So let's start up here. This is definitely a more abstract print that comes off as sort of a vertical, not stripe exactly, but vertical motifs. It also comes in this blue colorway. It's really pretty. Blue with a little bit of gold and white and black. And this one is shades of pink and this greenish yellow, a little bit of aqua. But you can tell that the fabrics have drape. They're not heavy at all, but they're not sheer either. The next one is, this is upside down, unfortunately, because of the way it's coming off the bolt. But this is like a beach scene. It has boats and palm trees and some buildings, as if you're on a shoreline. This one is, and we can get any of these off the wall if anybody wants to see them, a mixture of a floral and geometric. So it has this grid work here with some trailing flowers and then some big flowers as well. This one, I think, feels very William Morris, very classic and very traditional, and it may very well be that this is a recoloration of something they've had around for quite a while. But some deep blues and fuchsia and aquas, and really beautiful. This one seems to be the staff favorite at the moment. These bold.
I like this one.
Yeah, this looks like something Sarah Campbell could have designed. I don't think she did, but definitely a very modern look. Mm-hmm. And then true classic, almost Jacobean English country garden, black background with explosions of orange and green. And then another geometric slash floral.
I think these are the same.
Yes, you're right. These are the same two different colorways. The blue colorway and the red and pink colorway. Yeah, they are. I must have liked that when I bought it. Yeah.
Come in and take a look at it. What are your favorites?
You know, I lean towards these very traditional ones.
I probably lean towards the modern ones.
Yeah, only because I guess of the history of the company and all of that. But I have to say, this one's pretty exciting. But I can see, you know, we've talked about what other things we can make out of these. And you are seeing, you said the tailored jacket sort of thing?
Yeah, right now there's a lot of oversized things, oversized style in a lot of prints. If you go in my window shopping lately, even dresses, but jackets, pants, but stores right now have a lot of bright colors, so this is right on trend with a lot of what we're seeing. But yeah, an oversized blazer in kind of one of these thinner cotton prints would be so fun.
We were talking about how you could make the Chicago jacket in one of these, but possibly underline it. You could underline it in batiste or a lightweight cotton or a different Liberty of London print, because those two married together would be a really great combination and feel. So the Chicago jacket, and you mentioned the opal jacket, which has a lapel that turns back. And if you underline it, then of course you would see the other fabric. That would be, and that has a slightly, not cinched in waist, but definitely a definition at the waist. So the opal would be good as well if you don't like the oversized look. I'm thinking I might have to have a pair of Picasso pants out of this right here. That English garden look. And yeah, that might have to be it. I don't know. I could see this with this. Top pants.
I could also see this with this.
Yes, that's right. So this is a more, again, a more traditional idea, but the colorway of this and this one too really, really work together. This is a very Southwest feeling, which I think is interesting for Liberty to produce something like this, because to me it feels very American Southwest. Cactus and hills and desert and all of that. This is a more stylized flower, again very Sarah Campbell. This is,
these are cool together.
Yes, these are really cool together. And this isn't a really definite pattern, just more of a small abstract and a beautiful, that Mediterranean Mykonos. Would this be Mykonos blue?
Mykonos, yeah.
Mykonos blue,
so.
Yeah. This is one of their classics for sure. And you'll see this print come out in various colorways often. Another real contemporary one, gorgeous splash of colors, pinks and blues and greens.
I think these are all the same.
Yeah, you're right. I really did like this print. I bought it in 3 colorways. You're absolutely right. It's so interesting how that changes. Yeah. And then this all over floral. This is a navy background, not black. And then we have some others. We have a fruit print. I've always liked fruit prints. I don't know why.
Not vegetable?
Well, I like vegetables and fruit. This is also a blue background. Or is it? No, it's not. It's an eggplant. It's a purple background.
Purple, yeah.
Yeah. This is very sweet, very delicate, floral, pale pink with light blue. I love this. This, I mean, you could definitely make a beautiful, let's say, gardenia top and wear this on the street, but it would be great in the bedroom as well. Yeah. And I think of all the prints that we have, this is the most recognizable as a Liberty of London, the mini print. Gray. What's the color of the background on this? Kind of a dark charcoal with small little flowers in pinks and reds. So when you walk into the Liberty of London store and look at their fabrics, they're going to have hundreds of these. And then one more, just a little watery wave print and some beautiful blues. So that's our collection. We have 20 Liberty of London fabrics. We've never had that many at one time. And we do have limited yardages, so we'll be watching the orders. So if you're interested, probably ought to get on it. So, do we have any questions?
You don't have to repeat these back since I'm not mic'd. There was a question about if you could see through the fabric.
Can we see through the fabric? No, I don't think so. Here, let's just put this on at least one sleeve, since you have on kind of a bold print. Not really. I don't consider this any kind of a transparent fabric. Yeah.
And can you talk about what you're wearing?
I am wearing the ET in a pink knit. I was going to wear this this today, and then I remembered you were wear this, and I was going to be against this, and I thought, you know, enough print's enough print. So I wore print on the bottom. These are not Liberty of London. This is not a Liberty of London fabric, but I thought it kind of looked like it, and so I wanted to impress upon you the fact that think about these fabrics for bottoms: a skirt, pants, shorts. So.
And we didn't show a dress, but I think
Be a fabulous dress.
yeah, a dress would be a great option.
Yes.
The Tosca would be cool. The Tosca, am I saying this?
We don't have it anymore, but that would be
Oh, we don't have any.
No, but that's on the Tosca's on our radar, isn't it?
we throw it back and forth
Okay.
multiple times
All right.
a year.
Well,
Well,
Betsy can chime in on
we
that.
did mention the Gardenia, even that as a dress.
Yeah, a Gardenia dress would be
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please pull the blue and pink abstract down so to see it better?
I love these yellow flowers.
I know, I do too.
I don't know. The other one on top is also kind of blue and pink. So
Okay.
we're not sure exactly which one.
Reminds me a little, sort of pizza. I don't know why.
You know, I think it's sort of architectural, actually. It reminds you of pizza. It reminds me of
Pizza and watermelons.
buildings. You can tell where, yeah, it is lunchtime.
Okay, what is the blueprint fourth down on the left? So let's get
This one?
the Ikina, fine print.
Should be cool pants.
This would make great pants. Yes.
With, yeah, this one.
With this one. Yeah. Or you could, if you did your pants, you could do,
Like what you're, like a knit.
yes,
Blue.
you could do a solid knit. But if you made like the Picasso pants, you could do the bottoms in a contrasting, the bottom, what are we calling them? Lantern-shaped wedges in a contrasting either Liberty or Solid color. So you could combine this with some other things. Yeah, this is pretty.
So I'm feeling you're going to be pulling them all out here.
That's fine.
Let's see. The pink colorway of the abstract print.
This one or this one? Oh, I guess we'll do both.
Let's do both.
Okay.
I like this one.
Alex just said in whisper that she likes this
I
one.
like this one.
So what am I making in this for you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's get some customer interaction here. But I mean, any of it would be cool. Pants. You know what I got out the other day? I forget who made them. I made them or you made them, but you made a Valencia pant in silk, kind of like this. It's a really bright
Yes,
silk.
yes.
So, you know,
The nice thing about the Valencia pants is they don't have a side seam. So you don't have that interrupted design on the pant leg.
mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get the other pink one out.
The blue and gray in that just really pop.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a nice, more muted tones on this one for sure. More maroon and gray blue. Yeah.
If you're making pants, would you line it?
No, I don't think I would line the pants if I suppose it depends on the style, but I consider these to be kind of fun and sporty, and that to me says unlined. Now, anytime you line pants, I will say this, it does help the wrinkling a little bit. So if you're worried about that, although these fabrics really just are not super wrinkly. So you could, but if you're wanting to, I don't know, would you line your pants? I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay, the next fabric is the Southwest print.
Okay.
Get that one out.
Definitely a horizontal sort of striation going on.
We'll be going here next week.
I know. Alex and I are going to Santa Fe, New Mexico next week, and we're going to be feeling the whole Southwest vibe. But you know, we're going to be snoop shopping, I'm sure, see what's happening. And I haven't been in a clothing store in a long time, so we'll be having some fun checking out some new details and designs for next year.
How does the fabric wash?
Perfectly. Washes beautifully, doesn't change character, doesn't shrink, I don't think. Maybe Betsy can chime in a little bit more on that, but the colors are color fast. I think that you wouldn't know anything except that they're clean. It's clean.
So you talked about lining pants, but would you underline them with a lightweight batiste?
I would line the pants instead of underline, and a lightweight batiste would be a good choice. But underlining is tricky in something that has that kind of length to it. And holding them together without something being a little bit shorter or longer than the other is sort of hard. So I would make two separate pairs of pants and connect them at the waist. That is actually part of next month's So Confident, is lining pants. I'll give you that much of a sneak peek.
Alex, can you repeat what you're wearing?
Yes, I'm wearing the London shirt in a London print, Liberty London print, which is a linen. So we don't have any linens. We don't have this print anymore. But I think last month, a couple of months ago when I was here, I also wore a kind of oversized linen shirt. So I'm a big fan of of this look. I like the London shirt. It's got some nice details, asymmetric hemline, button down, so yeah.
The Liberty of London shirt. Somebody said. Okay. Does the staff favorite have any orange in it, or is the background black or navy?
The staff favorite, black background, and this red is definitely an orange red, and yellow, and teal,
Peach.
peach, sea green, but black background for sure.
Why did you get so many of these? Why have you never had this many? Is there a
I don't
reason?
know. I just had not seen a collection where I saw so many that I liked. I mean, I like all of them, really. But they had more modern ones this time than I've seen in the past. And we just don't have access to prints that look like this in any other way except with Liberty of London. And so I was in the mood, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, and if you could just repeat one more time the story about your pants, Linda.
My pants are, well, I wore these because I wanted these to be like I wanted to show that you could make pants in Liberty of London fabric. And so this is not a Liberty of London fabric, but it has that look. So that's why I wore them.
And they are or are not our pattern.
These are so old, 30 years old, 40 years old. I don't know what they are.
Okay, that's all the questions.
All right. Well, we have a surprise for you this week. This is historic.
Because it's my birthday week.
That's right, it is. I know.
Linda always forgets my birthday.
No, I don't. We're going to Santa Fe on her birthday. I haven't forgotten.
She always forgets which day.
Well, that's true. I'm always one day off. But you were 3 months early, so I always think you were born in November. But you're born in August. Anyway, but we are doing something we've never done in the history of the sewing workshop, which is now 30 plus years old. And so for 3 days, today until midnight on Friday, our special is all orders over $75, free shipping. Now, we have a code,
We do. I can.
and I'm going to tell you what it is here in a second. And the deal is that you have to use this code. And I'm not just saying this lightly. You have to use this code on the order. Unfortunately, you can't email us later, text us later, even call us later and say, oh, I forgot. You have to put the code on the order. Our system now has changed, and we are not able to really back up very easily anymore. So the code is
Love Liberty, all caps.
Love Liberty, all caps.
No spaces.
No spaces. So when you place your order, that space where you put that code is called,
Is right under, you have to repeat this, right under your cart where all your products are listed. And then you have to say redeem code, and then put the code in and apply it.
yes, it is when on your cart page, when you have everything, there's a little box that says redeem code. And you have to put the code in there, Love Liberty,
And press apply.
and press apply. There's been some confusion about that, but there is a box there. There really is. And it says redeem code, Love Liberty. So $75 or over, Love Liberty, free shipping until midnight Friday night.
And can they use their So Confident code as well?
No. Free ship, you can only use one code at a time.
And so repeat that.
Okay, can you use your So Confident discount code also? And no, our system only allows for one code. Now you can use either one. One will get you free shipping, one will get you your 15%. So you can use one or the other, but you can't use both.
And what about international?
It applies to international.
Mind blown.
We just got a yippee from somebody. Yeah.
But
The reason we're actually only doing it until Friday night is two reasons, really.
my birthday.
That's right. But as you can tell, this is what we have, and the quantities are somewhat limited of the Liberty of London. And so we want to make sure that we're here so we can monitor these orders. I might be able to order some of these again, but I'm just not sure. So we're going to be monitoring the orders closely and making sure that we can either have them or I can get them again. And I don't really want to, nobody wants to have to keep track of that over the weekend, is really what this is all about. So.
Okay, let's see. Any other comments or, well, comments, but not questions? There is a few happy birthday comments.
Ah.
Oh, thank you. You can send, your tips to sewingworkshop.com under the code Alex. Just kidding.
By the way, speaking of, we are having a big meeting this week with everyone about the planning for So Confident 2022. And we've asked you for your comments, what you liked about this year, what we could do better, some ideas for next year. So please post that on the Facebook page, email me, linda@sewingworkshop.com, or come to the question and answer sessions on Thursday and let us know about that as well. We'll be talking about that. So we're having a big meeting on Thursday about what to do with So Confident. We're getting ideas from a lot of people already, so I thank you for that. Anything else?
I think I'll just get closer and show a few fabrics.
All right.
I'm not sure exactly which ones they're talking about, so I'll just show them.
Should I get them off the wall, or you want to?
Just kind of come in
Okay.
here and show them.
Now, as you know, Betsy always posts these on our website in a category. So you go to our website, sewingworkshop.com, and you click on
Linda's videos,
Linda's video,
and then it'll be like a Liberty of London. is probably
Liberty
what
of
it's
London
called.
category. So you'll be able to see these fabrics photographed, both full panel repeats and up close.
And there was a blue one over in the corner they were interested in, but I'm not sure which one. Was it something about also a beach print? I'm not sure which one.
Oh, the beach.
Oh, the beach print?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's get that. We'll turn it right side up for you. Here, you. Yeah. Yeah. I can see a cottage shirt out of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just a great summer shirt.
Okay, that's all I see.
All right. Well, Alex, thank you for joining me.
Yeah,
It's always
thanks,
a pleasure.
everyone.
Thank
you
you so
next
much.
time.
And if you ever have a chance to go to London, be sure and go to Liberty of London store. Check out all their new emerging designers and the shop itself. So we thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.